welcome to our first episode of Mystics at the Grocery Store. We are very excited to be here in your eye holes and ear holes. I'm Rosalyn. I am super excited to start this, and I guess I'll start with our little introductions. But I'm Rosalyn. I'm from South Texas. I offer Reiki practices and card readings and little things like that. And I'll pass it over to my co-host, Adrienne, for her to introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Adrienne. Let's see, what do I do? In the energetic realm, I do a little bit of everything. It's about empowerment for me. It's a really huge topic. Trauma release is another big topic. I do Reiki, I do astrology, card readings, um, coaching, simple coaching. Sometimes movement is so super important. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to the movement expert, Melinda.
Uh, Hello, this is Melinda. I'm a body alchemist. At least that's what AI says. Um, but the
I love
truth
it.
is,
God, for AI.
I grew up belly dancing, and now as a Reiki master, I've really incorporated the energetics of flow and into my belly dance teaching, kind of as a healing modality and just as an energetic balancing practice. So on that, there's that, and I do that at my studio in Waltham, Massachusetts, called Moody Street Circus. And I have my Speakeasy Reiki back room where I do give Reiki sessions and card readings and guide kind of creative explorations with people. Journaling, they could learn to juggle, could do a lot of weird things.
Journal and juggle,
Journal
not
and
your
juggle.
Yeah,
average
please.
session.
Please. It's so funny that you mentioned juggling because there were three tangerines when I went to work yesterday, and I was like, "What are these tangerines here for?" And they're like, "I don't know." And I was
Oh,
like,
that
"Well,
is,
before I
my
throw them
dad
away,
cannot stop
let me
when he's
just
at the grocery
try."
store, speaking of which, like if they're, he will juggle tangerines. So that kind of goes in with our theme.
Yeah, my juggling
I
did
love
not look
that.
very movement flowed.
Love that. Well, we're very excited because well, I guess we can quickly say how we know each other. That seems important.
Very important.
We met each other through the lovely Yolanda Williams. We'd been in her alchemy circle since 2020-ish,
Yeah.
roughly for all of us.
Yeah.
Um,
No ish, ands, or buts about that.
well, y'all were
Definitely.
there before I was, so I joined
Well,
a little late, but that's okay. But yeah, so
better late
we
than
met
never,
there,
Rosalind.
and the rest is history.
That's right. We've spent countless hours together, meditating, talking, sharing, doing Reiki retreats
Yeah,
together, going around meeting up in different cities. We've done a lot together.
yeah. And now we get to just be online together.
The
We
sisterhood.
loved it so much, we kept
This
doing
is
it.
sisterhood.
So, I think, and we didn't talk about this beforehand, so this is just throwing it at you all. What I remember this name, Mystics at the Grocery Store, came up in one of our classes, I think.
Yeah.
Do you all remember that
Yeah,
was
I think
around?
I kind of was, I don't know if I was dreaming or if I was in at meditation, and I had texted Melinda. Well, oh no, I was on my way to the grocery store, and I really didn't want to go because it took me out of my self realm of just like meditation and touching into the Akashic records and just flowing. And I'm like, oh, now I have to go be a real person and go to the grocery store. Um, and I had texted Melinda something like that, and she was like, "That sounds, like a really, I like that title." And it kind of just went off from there. Yeah, was that about right, Melinda?
I think so. I mean that I do recall your text, and I recognize that feeling. And I think there was something clicked in me because there's this one podcast I love called Buddha at the Gas Pump, and I was like, mystics at the grocery store. It's another version of that, kind of, but more, I don't know. I don't want to say frivolous, because of course it's not frivolous. It's very important and serious, but it's also like an approach that would be fun and interactive between us three. That would be neat.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that leads us really well into what we hope this podcast will be, which is like a place to talk about how spirituality and your own spiritual practice can be at the heart of like very mundane, like you said, frivolous things, and giving opportunity to see the divine in the day to day. So, how do y'all, how would you explain what you hope this would be?
Yeah, I would have to say the same thing. And what's really coming through really, really heavy for me is that, you know, uh, okay, following that sacred house kind of a conversation is like you're going out into the grocery store, which is out into community, and you are making a selection of. And how you make that selection, do you use your Reiki hand to make your selection of your fruit and place it gently into your bag or your basket? And then knowing that that's the selection that you made to bring into your sacred vessel, whether it's your body to eat or your home. So yeah, that's kind of like where my mind was just like blown. Like there's so many different ways that you can use the divine energy to continue to support yourself physically and mentally in your home.
I'm
Yeah.
just, that's incredible what you just said. I think it could be a whole book on just that. How you, I don't even, you just gave me ideas. I don't even think I'm cherishing my fruits enough when I put them in my basket.
Yeah, you're
But
just
that
wanting
is
to get
not
in and get
gonna,
out.
I really, I mean, no, it's exactly that's what came to me this morning too as I was thinking. I'm like the grocery store is if everything is a reflection of us and how we relate to it is a reflection of our way of being in the world, then the grocery store has to be part of it. And like you just said, Adrienne, it's like we're putting all of that we get there into our bodies and bringing it into our personal space. And so it becomes much more, it feels much more important to really be very conscious and aware of the choices that we're making in that domain.
Hmm. Yeah. And I think too, just, and this almost like hints at what we'll talk about later, but how do you prepare to go to the grocery store? How do you make your list? How do you, what's your, like Adrienne was saying, were you dreading going? Like, is this, so it's like, how do you look at that, and how do you look at your spiritual practice? And yeah, everything that we see in the day to day that we have to experience can be related to our own spiritual practice. And it'll be so fun to do that with you guys. But this week, yeah, I guess this week, we will be doing a slightly different format than what we think this will turn into. And of course, bear with us. We are playing with this. It's going to hopefully be cozy and comfortable and not something that adds stress to our lives to do. So, if we're not exactly, the hope is every other week we'll get an episode up. But if we're not exactly, that's okay. We'll be there. We'll come back. um, but we hope that these episodes will be kind of structured in a way that's really interesting for you all to listen to. Um, and it'll be a bit of how, I guess it kind of plays into our interests. So one section will be the weather forecast for the week, which will be our lovely Adrienne talking through some astrology that's happening in the near future. And then we will kind of go into our topics and make it fun, make it relate to the grocery store. What do we have on our list today? What are we going to check out with? Give you guys some practical, helpful tools that you can check out with as well. But today will be a little bit different because we aim to get this up either, well, very early August will hopefully be when this goes live. And so August presents to us this really beautiful Lionsgate portal in
Mm.
astrology. And so this week we just wanted to kind of intro with that, give Adrienne some time to kind of talk through the astrology of early August, and then we'll kind of add in some stuff here and there. So Adrienne, are you ready to go, girl?
Well, yeah, let's just do it. Leo says just shine, just be who you are, be unique in it, and do it. Just do it. Um, so just not to go too far into Lionsgate because that could just really take up a lot of time and just really, it's a really big rabbit hole. I started researching it and then started thinking about the fifth dimension, and I was like, I am not going there. I am not going there. But ultimately, it's a very good day to manifest for yourself. And the reason being is the sun and the brightest star, Sirius, are going to be in alignment on the 8th. So Lionsgate is actually a range of time, like July 28th to August 12th. And the 8th is actually the peak. And, the fact that this is a triangle just like plays into the whole process here. But so the peak of it is the 8th. That's why people say Lionsgate portal. That's the best and the most highest time. But that whole time frame is actually time that you should be thinking about, could be thinking about what it is that you want to manifest, what it is that you want to see growing within yourself, outside of yourself. Excuse me. So, with that being said, you've got that sun and you've got Sirius, and they're lined up and they're like, we're going to make this really bright so you can really see what it is that you want to manifest. All blinders are off. You can really see it's really bright, really, really bright. But if you're not grounded, it can be too bright for you. So, that's another thing that you want to think about is being grounded. And then on the back of this Lion's Gate, which is 8-8, we have 8-9, and I believe we have a full moon at that point in time. And now the full moon is at its brightest state. So again, we have more illumination that's just helping us to just get that manifestation idea out there. Just do it. Just like speak it into existence, write it down on paper. Don't be over critical of yourself. If like, oh my God, I don't know what I want to manifest. The fact that you're thinking manifestation, me, that's a manifestation of the manifestation. So basically, during this time of year, um, the realms are thinner, and those transmissions from your higher self come in so easily. And the fact that Uranus is in Gemini, Uranus is like shooting things down with lightning bolts. It's like here, bam, bam, bam. Um, it could be a little bit unearthing. Again, another reason why you want to ground yourself. Um, but at the same time, well, let me preface this by saying the type of astrologer that I am, I don't, things do become challenges. Absolutely. But I don't see them as something negative. You're never going to hear me say, oh my God, be careful. This is coming. You're just not going to hear me say, you're going to hear me say, hey, this is coming. You might want to pay attention to that. But I'm not that one that runs around and, does that whole sky is falling. And we've all had that experience, right?
Yes, yes.
So to back up into Lionsgate, so you've got this prime opportunity, this prime window, and you want to put your manifestations down. It's a good idea to do so. And doing this, you're getting all those frequencies from your higher self, just shooting down, saying, hey, what about this? What about that? And you're open to them. So that's why it's a very powerful time, especially in, the spiritual practices. And that's what we're here to talk about today. How does that resonate with you guys? What are you guys feeling during this time frame? You feeling Any kind of pushes, pulls?
I think it's interesting because back was just it was just recently the new moon in Leo. Sorry, I hear the echo. We're still working out our audio. But um, already started generating some kind of ideas for what it was I wanted to manifest before the end of the year. And there comes stress sometimes when you like you just said, Adrienne, you just gave us permission to not have to come up with the idea right away, just like the just it's an invitation, and then we don't have to like come and have our list ready. But each step, it's like I like how it was the new moon and it kind of started the process. So you kind of rehearse some start the process of kind of tapping into what it is that maybe you would like to manifest, and maybe then you reconsider and you're like, wait, is that really what it is, or is it something else? And but so this is a it's like a it's neat how it was first the new moon in Leo, and now and that was just like a little rehearsal for like, now it sounds like this energy is so potent when we get to like really practice tuning into what it is we really want. What do you think, Rosalind?
I love Lionsgate because Lionsgate was like one of the astrological events that first piqued my interest into like all of this. So it feels very close to home. And as I've learned more, I'm a Leo rising. And so I feel like this slight affinity towards it just because of the Leo influence of it. And it's like, oh, this can help me like really feel into all the Leo-ness in my chart. Um, but yeah, I agree. I think like Adrienne was saying, some astrologers online are very, I wouldn't say fear based, but like, you better pay attention to this or blah, 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 blah. Like, you're going to miss this opportunity. And I know a lot of it is because now they're posting online. They want to get like views and content. So they have to make it a little bit, over the top. And so for me, I like approaching this in a way where we're looking at the full window. We're not looking at just the day of August 8th because that gives us time. And from my knowledge, my less expertise knowledge of astrology, most astrological events kind of have a time frame leading into it. The main thing happens, and then there's like a time frame of leading out. And so to me, I like looking at things that way because I hate the feeling of missing an opportunity or like missing the window to have the meditation or set the time aside to like read about and learn about whatever's happening. And so that's just something I want to always assure everyone listening. Just because it's coming up, you don't have to stress out to like make sure you're doing something exactly at the right time or you're going to miss it. But yes, Lionsgate is really special. And I think it is during that beautiful Leo season where we just get to feel our own sunshininess that makes us feel the most ourselves, that gives us the confidence to be seen, which is fun that we're actually having this first episode kind of come out around that time because it's like, hello, we're here, like this is what we're manifesting. And it's very exciting. So yeah, I really enjoy this astrological event, and I think it is just that beautiful time to sit with yourself and let what comes up be your own inspiration. So, yeah.
Yeah, I really love that. And I like what you said about having that window and then not wanting to miss out on stuff. Like that's the same for me. Like, oh, did I miss it? But do you really miss it if at that time it doesn't come into your awareness, but later on it drops in?
Hmm.
That energy is still out there. So you look at it that way so that, there's no criticism of self. I'm like, oh my God, you just missed the new moon. Like, did you not know? Like, okay, sorry, I missed you, but here I am thinking about you, and this is what I want to manifest, that kind of a thing. So, um, what I like about this as well, this portal is, in my opinion, it's like a double whammy, because when we look here on Earth, the Orion's belt is also in a alignment with the pyramids of Giza. I'm not sure really how to say that. Um, and it's creating this bridge, if you would say, so that that higher knowledge has a way to come down into you. So it's so similar to Reiki, when we are the empty vessel, allowing the higher self inspiration, the higher self healing, to heal ourselves, or to heal whoever it is that we're working on or working with. So that to me, it was just like, oh my gosh, the similarities to Reiki. And then, me and triangles, like everything for me is number three or a triangle. So, and it's a very powerful conduit, like that it's coming straight down, like that lightning bolt, if you want to say, is coming straight down. And then eventually it's going to hit all three points. So I love that about this time of year as well. Um, and just to keep it like bullet points, this is like, it's a conscious awareness about evolving yourself to the next level, so that as you participate in community, you are also bringing community to the next level of awareness. So you can bring in that, or you are a rock and you're getting ready to enter the water. Are you going to make a big splash, or are you going to enter in gently and create some nice calming waves for everybody else? Um, it's an awakening, so that you remember what it is that you came here to do. That's why it's thinner, and a lot of people see it that way. And it's not just the spiritual part of the community. A lot of people see it that way. It is an awakening kind of a thing. What else did I write about this that I was like so excited
And I
about?
butt in.
Absolutely.
So you were saying I love the analogy of the rock in the water, the rock in the pond, because it reminds me of the eight as well. So like lemniscate. So like, what are you putting out that's coming back? What are you creating ripples with in the shape of that eight? So I just wanted to say that because like we love our eights around here.
I had an eight
Melinda
also.
does a lot of her work
Oh yeah,
based on eight,
I
right?
have a lot of eights in my work with the figure eights of all of the various body parts and snake energy. But I actually literally, before we came on, had drawn a lemniscate, or the figure eight on its side, and I can show you on my little note. And it was like related to, like, I drew this before we came on, and
Aw.
it was related to shopping, actually, like, listing. Maybe we'll bring that up later, but like, how you go and you're going to go to a grocery store, you make your list. Perhaps, maybe people are putting it in their phone. I don't know. I still like a list on a piece of paper, and I know we'll get into this in future episodes, but like, just to like, if you did a lemniscate and it represented like the rational mind that's planning for what is needed to ration, get it? Rational mind, ration. And then you have the other side, and you're like dreaming a little bit, or you don't know and you're going to wait. So, but that'll come up in the future. This is a lemniscate list idea for the future. I don't want to go into it now, but I think it'll be fun. But yeah, it's a beautiful shape to
Mhm.
talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like the whole eight, just the flow of it in and out. It kind of has that ebb and weave kind of a feeling to it. So I like that. Um, Another thing that the Lionsgate also brings in is memories from past lives, whether it's traumas that are passed down from generations, or unattached emotional contracts that you have stored in your sacred body. Typically, they're stored in the sacrum and that root area, that womb space. So this time of year can be a deep cleansing of contracts about not being good enough, being afraid of losing control, being afraid of being creative and not having enough to be created with. Um, so this to me, and now I'm going to kind of bring in this astrology portion of it. Um, Uranus
Wait, you just
on the
said
midheaven.
so, no, like my mind is blown already. Like that is so deep. We have to just take a pause.
Well, you want to decipher that
Take a
for sure.
pause. Talk about that sacrum again. It's holding. Talk about that again. That's what's that? What's going on
So
there? That is too
it's
beautiful to just go keep going.
excited about this. What's at the sacred? So basically, it's holding memories of past life traumas um, that are passed down from generation to generation, and it's also addressing emotional contracts that are stored in in the sacral. So these emotional um, contracts, they're unresolved. They're not your truth. So them being in this area, this sacred bowl area, this womb area where you can nurture it and kind of develop it to what you want it to be, that can be one of your manifestations.
Mhm.
But this time of year is about, let's readdress this. Let's go back in. Let's see what it is that you're holding on to as a contract or an emotional um, wound that you haven't dealt with yet. And in
Mhm.
order for you to get to where it is that you want to get to, south node, north node, you're going towards what you came here to do. You got to heal that portion of it first. And let me take the pressure off healing first, one, because I don't believe we're ever completely healed. Um, just like I don't believe that you can ever stop learning something. It's like continual healing to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. Um, so I don't want to put pressure on people like I'm not healed or I'm never going to get to that healing spot. As you evolve, you will get to another layer. Like our skin has so many layers. I mean, I don't even know. Like we can research that, but there are so many different layers. I mean, we've all had a cut or it's just superficial, and we've all had deep cuts. And when you have a deep cut, you can actually, like, if you put your finger in a microscope or like, you could see all the different layers. It's amazing. So for us to think that, okay, first time around, I'm going to heal it completely, it's kind of like, well, that doesn't even make any sense for the human body because that's not the way we're designed. We've got to heal it and go back over and heal it again and go back over and heal it again. So,
Everyone, just want to point out that Adrienne's astrological sign is Scorpio. And she has just talked about going very deep through many layers into the depths of one's being. That is one of her special Scorpion skills. But at the highest vibration, she is definitely helps people to rise up out of that, out of whatever the wounding
Definitely.
is. So it's like there is always, if you actually are listening to this and feeling like you might harbor some of these wounds, yeah, there are people who can support that, kind of like letting it come out. People like Adrienne. And yeah, and Reiki in general. But I just also want to say, like, I do believe that we are always, no matter what we're going through, we are love and we are whole already. Like the whole healing thing kind of it is a never ending process, but it doesn't mean that that we're damaged or something. It's
Hmm.
not, we are like, in a sense, it's not like we can never say whatever that is, like healed, what is healed. It's like, can we love ourselves as we are, right now
Hmm.
in whatever state we are, which feels feels I don't know, I just had to throw that in because like sometimes with
Well,
it just gets like, right, it seems like
yeah,
a lot of work.
I totally agree. And I think there's so much quote unquote healing in just acknowledging that something in you needs attention. I think
mm,
that is a really big part too. Like there's off of what Melinda just said, like it shouldn't be hard. Like, yes, there are moments when your healing journey will be difficult, but it's not like it
Uncomfortable.
has
Yeah.
uncomfortable. That's a great word, uncomfortable. But it's not going to be something that has to be really forceful or like you feel like every day you're just pushing, pushing, pushing towards trying to heal. It's like, no, that's in a way kind of missing the mark a little bit, that like you can be gentle with yourself, you can be loving with yourself, and still find healing and find ways to move forward as you learn more about yourself. But there was something else you said, Adrienne, about this time, and seeing and acknowledging the wounds and the contracts within the sacral space. But it made me think of how, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, we are in the midst of summer, when our days are still very long and we have the most light and the sun is illuminating everything in front of us, and we're seeing maybe the things that are sitting in the depths of us that might have been hidden or beneath shadow, and the light is bringing forward this opportunity to see like what at this time needs attention, whether that be like we were talking earlier, the inspirations that you might have kept tucked away, or it could be, you know, the parts of you that need healing. So I love that it's happening when we're in summer and sun is just beating down on us.
Yeah, I love the way that you say that, and to bring that sun and just the way that it feels on your skin. Well, okay, if you're outside working in the sun, I get it. My husband works outside all the time, and he's like, "You want me to go outside again?" When it's a nice, comfortable like shine on your face or on your skin. It's very comforting. Um, so what was coming through, Melinda, when you said that was like, we dig deep to peel off the layers, like the onion, and it's referred to a lot of as peeling off the layers to get to that middle seed, that true seed. Um, and then that ease and grace of the approach, Rosalind, being ease and graceful with yourself as you go through this, because your simple awareness to the fact that something has to heal is the beginning, you know. And then, however it is that you fall into that awareness, whether it is you stub your toe or whether or not you get hit by a freight train, tower moment to bring that in, they're all like, okay, awakening moments. So, and then something that you said made me think of the relief of revealing, like finding that darkness, and then just a relief of just, let me take off this heavy coat because I've now been revealing this part of it for me. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's good. That's good. Um, Oh, we were talking about Uranus and how we're going to bring that energy in. Uranus is about breaking down old systems, showing the truth, and spreading the truth, the higher truth that makes yourself and mankind better. So again, it's like what is your effect into the community, into the collective? Um, and like I said, Uranus, big energy. Are you smart enough to know how to handle, or are you wise enough to know how to handle um, this energy that's coming through for you? And part of that is just having that awareness that it's coming, that Uranus energy is coming, and not being fearful of it. Just like, okay, what are you going to bring in for me? And knowing and feeling and really sensing and resonating with the fact that it's in your highest and best good. Yeah, there's some trust that goes in with this, and some people are like, you want me to just trust the universe? Why not? Things don't. Why not? I mean, like, why not? Give me a reason why you just wouldn't trust the universe. Like, what is it has it done to make you not want to trust it? So that to me was coming through really strongly as well. And then that kind of leads me towards, and this just me and Rosalyn were looking at the birth chart of this particular time frame. And I was like, am I going to look at 8:08 a.m. or am I going to look at 8:08 p.m.? I decided to look at both of them. And what's coming through is that that triangle was coming through a lot in both of these charts. And on that first chart, Uranus is on the midheaven. So these changes are in our career. Your career could be absolutely reflected by how you are connecting and resonating with your personal self as well. So, like if when you're doing your self work at home in your sacred place, and it is brought out into your career, with Uranus being on that man, that's a reward. I see that as a reward. You're getting a reward now. You're bringing your goodness, your highest, out into the outside cosmics, into your workplace, and you're going to be rewarded for that. Um, and then Aries is in a trine with it as well. And with Aries and Libra, it's like you're seeking professional advancement. You're in a trine with Uranus. So as you're becoming, or as you're presenting more of your higher self, more of yourself that you've refined into that true self, that true essence that you came here to be, north, south, node kind of thing, your professional enhancements are just going to just present themselves to you. There's no push, there's no pull, they're just going to be presented to you. And that's where the third part of the trine, because you've got that triangle, and here we have Uranus up here again at the top of the triangle getting that lightning bolt, and you've got Mars on this side, and then you've got Pluto and what is that beautiful moon, and at the next trine spot. And Pluto is saying, the push and pull is there, but there's no reason. It's going to just happen for you. And the fact that they're in this corner in Aquarius, and over here we're in this corner in Libra, and up top we're in Gemini. You've got air. Sorry. You've got air, and then you've got more, like that Libra energy coming in, and then you've got air over here. So, like, it's just this perfect time to think about what it is that you want with no push and pull, no criticism, no judgment. Shine in your uniqueness. And then you've got Mercury in the background going, yeah, I'll help you speak about it. It's also in Leo. I'm going to help you. Let me help you speak about it in your uniqueness. However, we have our confidence, we have our flair. Don't be showy about it. There's no need to be showy about it because Pluto's telling you it's going to happen whether you want it or not. You don't have to, not whether you want it or not, whether or not you sacrifice your higher um, self to get, you don't need to manipulate these opportunities. They're going to happen for you because you're coming from a place of your needs and wants because you're in talking through the moon. So there's no need to try to manipulate the situation to get what you want. You can just be yourself, your unique self. Aquarius, be unique, be bold, be innovative. Watch how you speak about it, but enjoy it. It's going to happen for you.
I love that so much.
And the mic.
I love that so much. Ugh, there was so much goodness in that.
So you're saying we don't have to worry about anything is what my takeaway is. It's happening for us. That's what I'm saying. What
It, it,
what do we have to
it,
do? Tell,
absolutely.
yeah, we can just receive.
That's a good question. What is it that you have to do? And one of the things I'm going to say is grounding, because when I pulled the chart for the morning, there's definitely some earth in there. But when I pulled the chart from the evening, absolutely no earth, no grounding. And it's very interesting because when I pulled this chart, the aspects, the aspects in the morning chart were all this way. That's all in an upside right trine. The evening aspects, interestingly enough, created a six-pointed star. So you had one trine pointing up and one trine pointing down. So I'm going to just pose that question to you guys. If there's no earth and you've got that six-pointed star, what kind of things would you guys be focusing on? Like, what kind of things would you be making sure to maybe carry in your back pocket or to put in your shopping basket?
I definitely, what's coming to me is eat protein in some form to help you ground. Okay, we're talking about mystics at the grocery store, all right?
Yes,
I'm
yes.
bringing it back to the mundane for a minute. And that also came through and I wrote it down. And I looked up just for fun to prepare for this episode in a very scholarly way on Google. What do lions eat?
Oh,
Which, yeah, because Lion's Gate, lion and food. And Well, the answer is that lions can't digest plant matter, which I just, we know this, but I was just like, right, they can, they can't. They rely on zebras and wildebeests, and I don't want to go into the gruesome details, but you get it. But, and I'm not saying, and I know we're not all carnivores here and in this realm at all, but we do need to get our protein in. We do need to move our body, connect to our body. I know Rosalind will have a lot to say about the earth itself, but yeah, that's what comes to me is just make sure to keep, working embodiment practices, doing weight training. Make sure you challenge your body. It wants to be challenged. It wants to move. We can't just stay in our head and sit at our desks. It needs that, the body loves to be gently, consistently challenged. Just speaking as the body alchemist coach. But yeah, that's what comes to me is like that helps keep the air in balance and our thinking mind kind of rooted
That's
in our body.
immediately where my mind went. I was like, that's a lot of air. And I know from my own personal mind and processing, too much air for me means not good things. Like it's the mind starts to uh, circle and repeat and overthink and all of that. So I think relating it to Lionsgate, maybe it's this practical way of allowing things to be illuminated and seen and just sitting with it. And like you said, Melinda, like grounding. And yes, for me, that would be I might go for a walk. I might go outside. I might make sure I'm hydrated and mixing in the other elements, right? Of I feel like walking is fire and earth in a way because your blood's pumping and your temperature's rising and all of that. But yeah, I think the importance of staying grounded is I'm not a speed walker, but I mean, in South Texas, you still get hot. So,
No, I just saw this image of you kind of going like along as like almost like a lion, as a flame walking through the,
yes,
like
little
that's how
lioness.
that is a lion.
Yes,
Fire,
yes.
earth.
But yeah, I just think, yeah, balance the air, but don't try to like, I don't know, forcefully move the air, right? It's like what's coming in, let it stay gentle. We don't want to be in like a tornado. We want to be in a gentle breeze. So, yeah, that's really fascinating. It's a lot of air, but I think that's such a gift though, because that means that we're really going to see what's meant to come up into our awareness.
I love that you say that because the rest of this that I was looking at was the elements and the moods. And
Perfect.
um, in the daytime, the air is like, yeah, I'm leading, I'm going, and then fire is trying to get there. It's like, oh wait a minute, it's percolating a little bit. I get you. I see what you're saying. Um, but that fixed energy, that fixed mode, totally wins out in the whole thing. It's like this is definitely going to be this energy that you have right now, right, where this energy that you're developing right now, you're going to be able to sustain it. So don't have any fear, doubts, and worries about not being able to sustain. You've got this. Let's go. We're we're solidly into this next evolutionary um, spindle run. I'm not sure what you call it. And then, interestingly enough, when you were like, let's sit back and let's just reflect on it, you've got Neptune in retrograde, you've got Saturn in retrograde. Saturn is about your challenges and how you see them. So you can kind of look at them in a couple of different ways. Um, Chiron is in retrograde. Pluto's in not Pluto, sorry. Oh, actually, Pluto is in retrograde, and Mercury is also in retrograde. So you've got a lot of reflection looking back, but you've also got that strong Aries, like we're going, we're doing this. We've got our controlled fire because it's fixed. That's a very fixed chart. Everything's controlled. We're ready for the next level. We're here. Let's go. Let's do this. It's controlled. I don't see it as a brush fire per se. And the reason that I say that is because you've got Jupiter and Cancer, And you've also got Venus in Cancer. So those water signs are so happy. Like Venus is all about expansive water. As much as you need, I'm right here. You're not going to get out of the way. You're not going to get out of control. And Venus is like, yeah, we want enough for it to be beautiful and create what we want. It's not going to be a brush fire. It's not going to be a huge, massive brush fire. We've got that control in our back pocket as well.
Adrienne, when you were just saying about like saying retrogrades, I was remembering back to before I studied any astrology, and I've only studied a bit in the alchemy circle. But we know a bit there is actually a pretty deep dive. but but I remember just feeling like, what is retrograde? I just want to again like ask you, because you have such a great way of like bringing it into like a good anecdote, a good concrete metaphor. Like what, because I used to just associate Mercury retrograde was like, oh, don't say anything, don't do it. You know, it's like, no, I feel like there's more. And I really would love to hear you talk about like what is retrograding.
Um, oh, okay. So my definition of retrograde, it's like, okay. I'll try not to go too, no, do this one. Okay. Ding, 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 drop in. So for me, you've taken that big exam. You've got all the boxes, colored in your bubbles, whatever it is, you've taken that big exam. The teacher, you walk up, you go to hand it in. Your professor says, hold on, I'm going to give you another chance. I'm just not saying you got anything wrong. You got a little bit more time. Why don't you go ahead and reflect? Are these the answers that you feel comfortable with? Are these your truths? It's another way to it's another time to examine. That's all. It's like packing. Do I have everything? Yep, I've got everything. I know where I'm going. I know what experience I want to have. Do I have my sneakers? Do I have my bug spray? That's to me retrograde. You just get another opportunity to reflect on it, making sure you've got all the boxes checked. Everything that you really want in your suitcase is in your suitcase. I don't feel that it's, or though I do have challenges with computer, and when Mercury's in retrograde, we kind of juggle and are whether or not I think that it's playing with me with my mind, or if it's humbling me, like, you really don't know computers, girl, because this is what's going on over here. But I always just like, okay, it's on my shoulder. Hi, Mercury. I know you're in retrograde. Can you just help me figure this out? Because I really need to do this on the computer. So, yeah, I do have my challenges during retrograde as well as many of us do. But it's definitely for me, I explain it as a time to reflect. It's time to recheck, a time to review, re.
Would I even bring up the example of checking your cart before you check out of the grocery store?
Absolutely.
Make sure you
Absolutely.
have everything you want for your meals. There we go, to
That's
sustain yourself.
that's amazing. And so often I totally
Y'all
do
saw
not
that,
do
how we
that.
just brought that all back
I'm just like,
around.
let's go. Let's check this out. We got to get out of here.
I love that. Well, and I
No.
know we wanted to make this a bit practical for people listening and watching. So we brought up this idea of what if we gave examples of a way to really work with this energy, create a type of altar or opportunity to manifest, however you want to kind of look at it. And so we wanted to bring in some elements that we felt really related to Lionsgate for creating a type of ritual around the timing. So, Adrienne, I think you had the first on the list if you want to bring up your Lionsgate ritual item.
Um, I do a couple of things. The main thing for me is I've got 3 candles in a triangle here. Um, Lilith being the summer solstice, um, the first harvest, which I can never pronounce, it starts with an L, and then manifestation at the very top. These candles are just very, very powerful when I light them. And I also do a cinnamon. I blow cinnamon in my front doors, my back door, asking for abundance, asking to be in good health and have the energy to manifest into abundance, health, wealth, love.
The cinnamon really steps into that like fire element.
Yeah, add
Yeah,
that fire.
at that fire for sure. Melinda, what about you?
I am, I tapped into the energy of the heart. The lion made me feel like connect to the heart. And as I was just sitting in reverie and musing, what came was like heart healthy olive oil, which is something very, and also just something very dear to my heart, literally, because Greek olive oil, there is nothing on the planet more delicious, more, I don't know, it's just magical when you have olive oil that has been made in a Greek grandmother's grove, and you get that fresh pressed olive oil made on, kissed with the Greek sun, and
And
that
just in case people don't know, why does Greece mean so much
oh,
to you?
yeah. Well, I grew up in Greece. I grew up in Greece. Thank you. And it brings me back. I mean, and I go back all the time. My mom lives there. Um, but yeah, so the Greek olive oil is a magical thing, and it's also credited with being like very part of a very heart healthy diet. It's one
Mhm.
of the fats that is just very healthy. And so it's not like I'm always in search of a great olive oil, but if it's brought to me by somebody who's just been to their grandmother's village in Greece, I will just savor that like nothing else. But in ancient Greece, also olive oil was used. I mean, the olive tree was sacred to Athena, and olive oil was poured even in magic rites of the ancients as prayers were incanted over. So I'm just vibing with like how to bring in that simple product into my altar, situation. And it might just be like having a little sip of it. I still don't know, but I like to have not too complicated of a kind of meditative ceremony for myself in these times. I don't want to get too elaborate. It gets too like, in the head then for me. Like I basically want to set it up with the candle. I like to have the like water, a little bowl of water. I like to have salt to represent earth. I have the fire, I have the water. And then I have some kind of incense, and then olive oil, like the simplicity. And then maybe I'm seeing like a yellow sunflower or something to just go, we're in sun times. And
Yeah.
then just sit and breathe and, you know, receive the love and the nourishment of this Lion's Gate portal time. I'm excited to see what comes
Yeah.
through.
Yeah. I love all of those. I think too, I like your note on like making it simple. Like it doesn't have to
Mhm.
be anything over the top.
Just
It can
about
be
to say this.
simple. Yeah, let's not get overwhelmed. Like it's just being giving yourself the chance to be mindful to work with these energies however they kind of speak to you. So if none of this speaks to you, you don't have to use it. But if it does, I also love the lighting of candles. I think that that kind of represents not just the fire element, but kind of like the divine spark of setting intention and coming together with divinity. I was also looking at, I know folks that might be listening to this also like crystals. So I was looking at what crystals might be kind of related to this Leo season and the Lion's Gate. And I was looking at things like sunstone, citrine, carnelian, all of these things that kind of are in yellow hues, but also just tap into maybe your solar plexus, your sacral chakra, like the fire within to kind of inspire. So, whether that's just sitting with you on your space, or maybe you hold it on your hand and kind of just let the energy of that moment speak to you, everything to kind of raise the vibration to something that relates to this beautiful time that we get to work with. Um, yeah. So we hope you might take some of that away and let us know what you use and the kind of moments that you experience. But yeah, that's kind of our dive into Lionsgate and the astrology of early August. Is there anything else we want to mention, ladies, before we close our first episode?
Um, for me, Melinda, when you said keep it simple, like it doesn't have to be like a really um, whatever that word is, the biggest ultra that you can. It doesn't have to be. It could just be something that reminds you to be your unique self, shine as your unique self, manifest that higher self that you are wanting to be. Um, so it can be really something really, you can even get a little stuffed animal that's a lion stands out to you, put it out there. It could be something that is not necessarily represented in the color yellow or lion, but it makes you think of this time of year or this time. Can be something just so simple, and to not put pressure on yourself about it. That self criticism, that whole it's part of the last evolution. It's over. It's done with. It's let it go. Um, but definitely have an awareness towards your root and be thankful for it. Do some stretches in the morning. Oh, I'm jumping into the movement, but have some gentle stretches, really opening up that sacral area, just letting it kind of just flow, you know? Yeah, keeping those feet on the ground.
I'm just happy to be here.
That's
It's so fun to shine suns with my sisters and to riff off of each other and to just share. Really, we're just so into this, all this work and this fun. Work is not the word, maybe, but this exploration that is so important. All these energies that really can help us shift and shape our lives and allow us to take some worry and off our plate, and put it into bring it into a bigger perspective. And this portal is like that opportunity to do it. And I mean, it's just cool, right? Lion's portal. Like, who doesn't want to go through that? Everybody, we all
Yes.
want. Like, it's so powerful sounding. That's why everybody's like,
Yeah.
what's that?
Yeah.
I love
It's
it.
fascinating.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I'll just say too, I've heard a lot of people, this has been like people that I've been working with in sessions, but then also just like people around my space that have started to feel the inspiration of this time of year of like, oh, I'm really interested in this thing. I feel like I could share something about this, but the internet's so saturated, or, everybody's already talking about it. And why would it be important coming from me? And I guess speaking for myself in this situation for us, but then also for like we're talking about when things are being illuminated for you, how important it is that if you feel called to share, that you do, because everyone has had that experience where you heard some spiritual quote or some spiritual practice a year ago, 2 years ago, and it didn't mean anything to you. Maybe it was timing, maybe it was from who it was coming from, but in your present moment, you might hear it again and have this total epiphany of, oh my gosh, like that speaks to me on a level that I have never felt before. And that has brought my awareness to something that I really needed to be aware of, or what have you. So I would just encourage everyone, as I continue to tell myself to share and give what you feel inspired to give, because yes, there are a lot of us on the planet, but we all have something to contribute, and it's important to do that. And important to let yourself be seen in this Leo season and during this Lionsgate, and just know that what you're saying does help the collective, and it can really hit the ears of somebody that needed to hear it. So, yay! That is our first episode.
Yay!
Woohoo! And we can't wait to be back.
Yes,
And
absolutely. Hit that
follow us on
subscribe button.
Instagram. Yeah, subscribe. We're going to be posting this on YouTube. Um, but I think Instagram will be our most like our biggest communication tool. So keep an eye on that. Mystics at the grocery store. It's all one word. We'll have it in all the show notes. Um, but yeah, that's where we'll kind of give you updates and post and talk to you all. And we'll be back in 2 weeks, every other week. And my dogs are saying it's time to get off. All right,
All right. Bye,
bye.
everybody.
Bye. Happy
See you next
shopping.
time.